Hi, I'm Chris with a K and welcome back to the channel. This week in queer history, we're exploring the massive cultural impact of Will and Grace, which premiered on September 21st, 1998. Was it just a funny sitcom, or did it actually change hearts and minds across America? And did it help pave the way for same-sex marriage? Let's get into it.
This week in queer history, stories told with love and glee.
Before Will and Grace debuted in 1998, LGBTQ representation in media was still pretty limited. The most notable moment leading up to it was when Ellen DeGeneres came out on her sitcom Ellen in 1997, which was a groundbreaking moment that opened doors, but also resulted in backlash and cancellation. LGBTQ characters were still largely seen as controversial or niche. But then, on September 21st, 1998, Will and Grace premiered and everything changed. It wasn't just a moment, it was an 8-season revolution that aired at the perfect time. The show introduced the world to Will Truman, an openly gay lawyer, and his best friend Grace Adler, a straight woman. Their relationship was funny, relatable, and most importantly, mainstream. What made Will and Grace so impactful was its ability to bridge the gap. While LGBTQ representation on TV was rare, Will and Grace normalized gay characters through comedy. Will wasn't defined solely by his sexuality, but rather by his wit, career, and friendship with Grace. Their dynamic relationship mirrored friendships between straight and gay people in real life, making LGBTQ issues more relatable to audiences who may not have been exposed to them before. And of course, the comedic duo of Jack and Karen pushed the boundaries even further. Their over-the-top antics allowed the show to touch on LGBTQ issues in a way that was funny, but not too threatening for mainstream audiences. Comedy became the perfect bridge. And here's where it gets interesting. As Will and Grace entertained millions of viewers, it also helped them get comfortable with the idea of LGBTQ people as fully rounded, complex individuals. The show aired during a time of evolving attitudes towards LGBTQ rights, and its mainstream success made gay characters part of the everyday cultural conversation. Hey, if gay TV excites you as much as it does me, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. Let's celebrate how media can spark real change. Now, let's dive into how this cultural shift helped fuel one of the most important civil rights victories, marriage equality. In 2012, then Vice President Joe Biden famously said, "I think Will and Grace probably did more to educate the American public than almost anything anybody's ever done so far." And he was right. The show played a significant role in changing public perception. People who may have never known an openly gay person felt like they knew Will and Jack. By using comedy to humanize LGBTQ characters, Will and Grace helped millions of viewers become more open to LGBTQ rights. It normalized gay relationships in a way that hadn't been done before, and it was a major factor in making LGBTQ individuals more relatable to the average viewer. Now, let's talk timelines. Will and Grace ran from 1998 to 2006, during which the fight for LGBTQ rights saw monumental victories. The show's viewership peaked in 2001 with over 17 million people tuning in, and averaged around 8 to 10 million viewers per season for most of its run. This coincided with a period of growing visibility for LGBTQ people in mainstream culture. The show's final episode aired just 1 year after Massachusetts became the first state to legalize same-sex marriage in 2004, which was an important milestone in the fight for equality. Between 1998 and 2006, significant progress was made, from domestic partnerships gaining legal recognition in several states to the growing movement towards marriage equality. The cultural acceptance Will and Grace fostered, reaching millions of homes weekly, was part of a broader movement that saw LGBTQ people being represented in politics, on TV, and in everyday life. The idea that LGBTQ people deserve equal rights, including the right to marry, became more mainstream over the course of Will and Grace's run. By 2015, just 9 years after the original show ended, the US Supreme Court ruled in favor of marriage equality nationwide. And while Will and Grace wasn't solely responsible for this shift, it undoubtedly played a huge part in changing hearts and minds. Before we continue any further, a quick shout out to today's sponsor. Junk food! You were there for every TV marathon, every party, and every late night study session. Thank you for fueling my life. And remember, kids, junk food responsibly. Will and Grace returned in 2017 in a world where marriage equality was now the law of the land. This time around, the show addressed even more pressing LGBTQ issues: politics, aging, and how far we've come in terms of visibility and rights. Eric McCormack, Deborah Messing, Sean Hayes, and Megan Mullally all reprised their roles, reminding us that the fight for equality didn't end with marriage. The revival continued to show how powerful representation is in keeping LGBTQ issues front and center in the cultural conversation. Thanks for joining me as we explore how Will and Grace helped change the world. Media representation matters because when people see themselves reflected on the screen, it helps shift attitudes and beliefs. If Will and Grace helped you feel seen, or if it sparked a conversation in your life, please share it in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Until next time, stay strong, stay bold, and keep making history.